Hello and welcome to Glorified Gutsy Gaming. I'm Jake, and today I will be ranking my top 10 games released in the year of 2016. It's now 10 years later, and some really good games on this list. Some of my favorite games ever. It is also raining, so if you hear thunder, that's what that is. It's just in the background. I can't control that. So number 10, I have Doom, the board game. There's a couple of these, but this one specifically came out in 2016. I think the power just flickered. This is kind of has a deck building, dungeon crawling, one versus many feel to it, and I really like that. I quite enjoyed this one, and I've only played a couple scenarios, but I'd really like to play more of them and give it another go. It's been a long time. One I need to get back to, like, for sure. Then number 9, I have King Domino, which I actually lost during Hurricane Ian, but I'm going to get another copy back thanks to the Gaming Caravan. But it is a drafting, tile laying game where you're building a kingdom and trying to get the right types of tiles in the grouping together to score points. I like it a lot. It's been a while since I've played it, but I'm looking forward to reacquiring it and playing it again. And then number 8, I have Kodama, which I actually just put on the 2018 list. I didn't realize when I made these, but it's two different versions. One's the 2-player version and one is the regular, I think, 4-player version. And they're basically the same game, so I don't want to talk too much more about it, but it's a nice cozy game that we enjoy playing, one that I still like. I think it still deserves a spot, but it's the same game. So, it is what it is. Then number 7, I have Tokyo Highway. This is a dexterity game where you're using essentially painted popsicle sticks and little wooden discs to build interlocking roads against your opponents and trying to get rid of your supply of cars first. I've liked this one for a long time. I've had the expansion, the Rainbow Road or Rainbow City or whatever it's called, and I haven't got to play it yet because my son really likes to play with all the pieces that we actually can't play it yet. He will not let us get it to the table, so hopefully one day. Then number 6, I have Sail Away. Now this is a more of a lightweight game, like family or like maybe even a kid's style game that we had gotten from a bargain outlet called Ollie's. Really liked it, and you have a variable end time, which I find that I really like when there's variable end times based on what I'm doing. It makes the game feel like I have more decisions, I guess. And we had lost this one in Hurricane Ian also, and I had reacquired a copy in a trade like a year or two ago, and we just haven't played it again yet. We had set it up and then ended up having to stop for some reason or other. But one that I think is really underrated. I think it's like one of my lowest rated games in my collection. I think it's rated 5 something on BGG, and that's not fair. Not a good ranking. I think that one's super underrated. And if I do an underrated list, it's going to be on it. Then we have number 5. This is Eminent Domain Battle Cruisers, a little 3 to 5 player simultaneous reveal. Whoever has, I think, the lowest numbered thing goes first, but if anybody has played the same card as somebody else, the action is weaker or canceled. This is one that's a lot of fun. There's so many different cards in here that you can do a lot of different setups. I can't imagine that you'd ever run out of setups to try. I think we've done a handful of them, and I've enjoyed them. They get pretty chaotic, and it's a lot of fun. Not for everybody, but it's pretty cool. I think it's a cool little system and engine that it runs on that I was impressed, and I have been for quite a while. Then number 4, I have a party game called Wonky. The one that I'm referring to specifically is a drinking game where it's like 2+ players. You have cards that give you a specific block that you have to stack, so you have to do with what's within your hand rather than just the same size blocks, and the blocks are all weird shapes with some curved edges and things. It makes it quite challenging. That even going like 2 or 3 up can be pretty hard. One that we've played for a long time that I've really enjoyed. This one I actually had to make my own custom box because the box for it had been damaged in that same hurricane. So another one where it was damaged, but trying to get a new copy of it would have been monstrous, and it's the only one of everything that we had that I saved because it's just wooden blocks. So then number 3, I have Clank. I think it's called like a deck building adventure or something else also. But yeah, it's a dungeon crawly kind of deck building game where you are going deeper underground to get the most treasure. Whoever gets the most pointed treasure and comes back to the surface in time wins. It's really cool. I like this one a lot. There's a lot of different versions of this one out since then, because again, it's been 10 years, and I think Catacombs is the favorite now. And previously, I think it was the Legacy version or the Space one, and I haven't played any of those, but just the base one is a lot of fun, and I like it a lot. I would love to try the newer ones. Then number 2, this is Captain Sonar. This is essentially an 8-player team game where you are competing Navy ships trying to take down the other team, and it is real time. It's a real time game, and it is quite hectic and stressful, but it is so much fun. I've never had the kind of experiences I've had with this game with any other game. And the satisfaction you get when you win is like unreal. Like it really feels like you've won. It is an amazing game. They made a family version. It's just called Sonar. That was like 4-player. I haven't tried that one, and now they even have a Star Trek one that's 4-player too. And I'm pretty tempted to try that because they have unique player powers and things. But this one is a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite games of all time. And then number 1, this was my number 1 game of all time for quite a long time. This is Star Trek Ascendancy. This is a 4X game based in the Star Trek universe. It is like right back there somewhere. One of those. It looks, I think it's this blue one here. But it has a bunch of expansions. The base game is just 3. You can play the Klingons, Romulans, or the Federation. And you're trying to either conquer 2/3 of the homeworlds, which eventually if you play with more people, I think you just need 3 homeworlds or something like that. Yeah, I think you have to have your own and like 2 other ones. Or you can get up to 5 Ascendancy, which is kind of like a victory point total, but it's just having more culture eventually gets Ascendancy. And I think that's the way that we usually end up winning. Whoever gets there first ends up winning. But there's a lot of factions now. You can play with a lot more players. There's not really a board, so you can kind of go wherever you want. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of opened my eyes to a lot of the different board game mechanisms. But specifically that one, it just doesn't feel like any of the other ones I've played because you really can go anywhere. Exploring can feel really random, but that's kind of how it goes. You don't know how far your ship's going to go or what they're going to find if they find a wormhole or a planet or a distant Borg outpost or something. It's a lot of fun. I think that the new version that's coming out, I really hope brings in new people, because I think people either really love this game or really hate this game, and the people that I've played with it don't love it, say that the downtime's just a bit long, which it is, but I'm usually so intrigued in what other people are doing because it has such an effect on my turn or my turns later down the road that I don't even want to go to the bathroom because I don't want to miss anything. But it's one that I've really enjoyed. I haven't got to play it nearly as much these last couple years, and I would really like to. It takes a day of planning because takes us usually around 4 hours. It can take longer, and it has in the past, but we've gotten pretty good at it now. But yeah, so that is 2016. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you'd like to play any of these games with me sometime, let me know. If you're in the area or you're going to any of the events, the next events I'm going to are Caravan Convoy here on May 23rd. And then Dice Tower East is coming up, which I will be working at, but I might still be available. Other than that, there's probably some other small events around that I'm not thinking of that I may or may not go to. But yeah, that is everything. So thanks for watching. Bye.